If you're driving at night and you see a green highway sign with the town name scraped away, keep driving. Don't slow down. Don't turn. Because some towns aren't meant to be found. My name's Maddie. I'm 26 now, but this happened 2 years ago, when my cousin Derek and I were driving his moving truck from Baton Rouge to Nashville. He'd just landed a job with a construction firm, and rather than pay movers, he talked me into a 2-day drive hauling his life's belongings in a 16-foot U-Haul. I said yes because I'd just gotten out of a bad breakup and wanted the distraction. What I got instead was something that still makes me check the rearview mirror twice before I pull onto a dark road. We left early, planning to take I-55 up through Mississippi. But about 3 hours in, Derek's phone lit up with a hurricane advisory. Tropical storm Odette had strengthened overnight and the interstate was already backing up with evacuation traffic heading the opposite direction. A trucker on the CB app Derek used mentioned an old state route, Highway 14, that cut through the pine flats of central Mississippi and would get us around the mess. Neither of us had heard of it. That should have been our first warning. The GPS barely acknowledged Highway 14 existed. It kept flickering between recalculating and just dropping the blue line entirely, like the satellite didn't want to commit to it. We followed the paper atlas Derek kept in the glove box out of habit, his dad's old trucking habit, he called it, and for the first hour it was fine. Pine trees, kudzu, the occasional falling down church. Then the fuel light came on. We hadn't planned to need gas until Meridian, but the truck was heavier than Derek estimated, and Highway 14 wasn't flat. The needle sat under a quarter tank with nothing but tree line in every direction. Derek's hands got tight on the wheel the way they do when he's trying not to let you see him panic. That's when we saw the sign. Faded, sun-bleached, half-swallowed by kudzu vines, Cutler's Fork, Pop 240, 4 miles. No gas station icon, no services listed, just the name. Derek looked at me. I looked at the fuel gauge. We took the turn. Cutler's Fork didn't feel like a town so much as the memory of one. A single paved road split off into gravel side streets that dead-ended into pine woods. Half the buildings had for sale signs so old the phone numbers only had 6 digits. But at the far end of Main Street, there was a gas station, one pump, a hand-painted sign reading cold drinks, and lights on inside. An older man came out before Derek even had the pump nozzle in his hand. He introduced himself as Wendell, said he ran the place with his daughter, and asked, a little too fast, a little too friendly, where we were headed and what we were hauling. Derek told him. Wendell's smile didn't move, but something behind his eyes did. While Derek paid inside, I stayed in the truck. That's when I noticed the woman standing across the street, just standing, facing our direction. She didn't wave. She didn't move. She just watched, and when I glanced away and looked back 30 seconds later, she was gone, not walked away gone, just gone, like someone had wiped a photograph clean. I didn't say anything to Derek. I told myself it was nerves. Getting back to the highway should have taken 5 minutes. It took 40. Every road curved back on itself. We'd see the tree line where 14 should have been, drive straight at it, and somehow end up back on Main Street, passing Wendell's station a second time, then a third. The GPS had given up entirely, no bars, no signal, just a spinning wheel over a gray map. Derek swore under his breath and finally pulled over to flag someone down. An old woman was sweeping her porch. Derek asked her, polite as anything, how to get back to the highway. She stopped sweeping. She looked at the U-Haul, then at Derek, then said, word for word, "You need to go back through the hollow road, past the church, out by the creek crossing. Don't stop at the creek. Whatever you do, don't stop at the creek." Derek thanked her. She didn't go back to sweeping. She just watched us pull away, broom still in hand, like she'd forgotten it was there. We found Hollow Road exactly where she said. It ran along a shallow creek, water so still it looked painted on. And halfway across, the truck died. Just died. Engine, dash lights, radio, all of it, gone dark in the middle of a one-lane bridge with nowhere to pull off. Derek tried the ignition 4, 5, 6 times. Nothing. And in the silence after, I heard something I'll never be able to unhear, singing. Faint, coming from the tree line past the creek, a hymn I didn't recognize, dozens of voices layered on top of each other, off-key in a way that made the hair on my arms stand up. Derek heard it too. Neither of us said a word. We just sat there, frozen, while the singing got louder, closer, like it was moving toward the bridge without any feet touching ground. Then, headlights. A rusted-out pickup pulled up behind us, and a man got out, younger than Wendell, maybe 30, wearing a state park ranger's jacket that didn't match anything else about Cutler's Fork. He didn't ask if we were lost. He said, flat and urgent, "You're not supposed to be here after dark. Get in your cab and don't look at the water." He hooked a chain to our bumper and towed us, engine still dead, off the bridge and about a mile down a gravel cut I hadn't noticed before. Only once we were clear of the creek did the truck's dash lights flicker back on, engine turning over like nothing had happened. The singing stopped the second the tires hit gravel. The ranger, he said his name was Coy, told us Cutler's Fork wasn't actually on any current map. It had been quietly decommissioned by the state almost 30 years ago after a chemical spill from an old textile plant poisoned the groundwater. Everyone who could leave, left. The ones who stayed, he said, aren't the kind of folks you want directions from. He wouldn't explain further. He just told us to follow the gravel road north, and we'd hit the real Highway 14 in about 6 miles. He was right. 6 miles later, cell signal snapped back on like someone flipped a switch, and the world felt normal again. Here's the part that still keeps me up. About 4 months later, I was cleaning out my phone's camera roll and found a photo Derek had taken outside Wendell Station, just a dumb picture of me leaning on the pump, rolling my eyes at him. I zoomed in on the background out of some morbid curiosity. The gas station sign in the photo wasn't the hand-painted cold drinks one we remembered. It read Cutler's Fork Service, closed 1994, boards nailed over the windows, the pump itself rusted through and toppled sideways into the weeds. I called Derek immediately. He pulled up the same photo. He saw the same thing I did. We never told our parents the whole story. We tell the version with the flat tire and the nice ranger who helped us out. But sometimes, when I'm driving somewhere unfamiliar and the fuel light comes on, I think about that woman across the street who disappeared like a wiped photograph, and I wonder if she's still standing there, waiting for someone else's tank to run low. Because the one thing Coy said that I never told anyone, not even Derek, was this: he said the plant closed in '94, and the last thing it ever produced, before the spill, was gasoline additive. And he said it with a look on his face like he already knew what we'd use to fill our tank.